As we got our first glimpses of Alexei Navalny outside of the hospital in Berlin, where he's been receiving treatment for over a month, we got a first sense of the kind of sanctions Russia will be bringing against the European Union. Russia hitting back at claims that Mr. Navalny was poisoned and that Russia had questions to answer. Now, Mr. Navalny in this post here was talking mostly about his personal recovery, thanking the doctors, saying his recovery was the focus. But we know the Kremlin critic, according to his allies at least, plans a return to Russia one day. Well, his treatment has been undertaken in Germany. The Germans were the ones who came forward saying a Novichok nerve agent was responsible for putting Mr. Navalny really at death's door. The Russians have denied, first of all, that Mr. Navalny was poisoned, saying there's no evidence of that. Then secondly, denying there's a link to anything happening in Russia. And now we're seeing them accuse the European Union and their allies of waging, quote, a massive misinformation campaign. This even went to the extent of the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs denying that there had ever been a Novichok nerve agent program in the country. Have a listen to this.
The Soviet Union and Russia never developed or produced Novichok, in contrast to the Western countries. There is no such evidence of a Russian connection to the poisoning, and there can be no such evidence.
Now, this is different, it's worth saying, to lines we've seen echoed by the state media and politicians in the country before. Look at this headline here in Russia Today, quoting an alleged creator of Novichok saying, Mr. Navalny couldn't have been poisoned by Novichok because I created it and this family of nerve agents, the symptoms don't match up with Mr. Navalny. That was used as so-called evidence from the first deputy representative of Russia to the United Nations to rubbish the claims from Germany. So in one sense, you have Russian officials here saying the creators of Novichok say it couldn't have been Navalny. Then you have a spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs saying we never had Novichok in the first place. And I think that's something Navalny's team have been seizing on. His press spokesperson here saying, I'm confused. Did you have Novichok? Did you have too much? Did you not understand it? What is going on here? They are accusing Russia of being the ones peddling the misinformation. That is something that Western governments have done too. So in this information clash, which is quite clearly going on, it is clear that Russia is not going to provide the answers the Western countries want. We are waiting for the findings of the OPCW, the independent body who have been given samples of what Germany claim is Novichok. We wait for their findings. But in this information climate, what are we to make of this pushback from the Kremlin? Well, I spoke to Alexander Solovyov. He is an ally of Alexei Navalny, and this is his take on the Kremlin's position.
Well, first of all, I think that shows the fact that Russian authorities and Putin himself are totally deprived from reality, because at least previously they were able to be convincing in their lie, but now, no. I mean, that looks ridiculous.
Well, with both the West and Russia accusing each other of misinformation, some perhaps more plausibly than others, I think it's fair to say, when we're looking at the claims coming out of Russia. One thing we cannot avoid now is that Mr. Navalny is back. He's back on social media. He is now a voice in this conversation too. So while the demands for answers are going to continue, his recovery, his journey will certainly be a focus for many.